Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Monday, July 13th, 2020. It's going to be a big show today. We have a lot to do. Talk about the NHL players that have opted out recently, some NBA news, soccer, KBO, golf, NASCAR. As baseball is 10 days away, we're going to start the countdown. Today will be the rankings of the MLB catchers. And I'll do my 2012 top 10 songs. But I have to open the show with a major announcement. I have been offered a position with Grunt Talks MLB to be a blogger, and I could post my podcasts on there. I want to thank Darren for the wonderful opportunity. His name is Darren Klein. He's the founder and owner of Grunt Talks MLB. Two other Grunt Talks members have been on my show already, Bobby Thompson and Julian Gilardi. They'll be joining me on this show next week to do a baseball predictions mega show. So I'm looking forward to that. Darren will also come join me on the show possibly next week to preview the baseball season as well. And by the way, Grunt Talks isn't just a baseball website. It's just called Grunt Talks MLB. Bobby has an NFL blog. I'll be doing a lot of baseball, a lot of football, basketball, hockey. Like I said, I'll be posting my podcasts there, but my writing thing will just be sports, but my podcasts will be up there as well. And as you know, I do mostly sports on this show, but I also do music, movies, TV, pop culture, and of course, as Darren warned me, no politics. I am not a politics person. I don't talk politics on this show. I will never do that, as you know. So that's that. So I wanted to open the show with that and thank Darren for this wonderful opportunity. And I will post a piece tonight about the catchers. And so that should be a lot of fun as the baseball season is 10 days away, and obviously in 10 days from now we'll be seeing Yankees Nationals and Giants Dodgers to open up the baseball season on ESPN. Now I'm going to talk about the NHL players that have opted out of the restart, one of them being defenseman Mike Green of the Oilers. That's a big loss for him. Mike Green is somebody that's played in big games before with the Capitals. And if I'm not mistaken, he was on the Red Wings when the Red Wings were still pretty good. And then he got traded over to Edmonton. Forget if it was this year or last year. And he was supposed to help them go far into the playoffs, perhaps. And I think that's a big loss for them, just from a veteran leadership standpoint and a production standpoint in big games. Like I said, been in a lot of big games throughout his life with both Washington and Detroit. So Edmonton suffers here with a veteran defenseman sitting out for the returns. And 7 players have opted out, and then there's more to be expected, obviously. Travis Hamonic of the Calgary Flames opted out as well. He's somebody that has played in big games throughout his career as well. Veteran. So I think that is a big loss for Calgary. And by the way, Edmonton traded for Mike Green this year. Obviously last year the team wasn't very good. So 2 big-name defensemen that are veterans, Travis Hamonic and Mike Green, have opted out. Carl Alzner of Montreal, that's a big loss. Alzner was having a fine year for Montreal. He's somebody that's played in big games in his career as well. Roman Pollock of Dallas, Steve Kampfer of Boston, Sven Barchi of Vancouver, and Zach Trotman of Pittsburgh. I obviously think that the first 3 names on the list, Hamonic, Green, and Alzner, all defensemen, by the way, are the bigger losses for their respective teams. I think the biggest loss of those 3 is honestly Mike Green. Like I said, big game player, veteran. Alzner's been in big games at Washington as well. Hamonic, both with Calgary and the Islanders. I think Calgary can survive without Hamonic. I think Montreal will be fine, but Olsner's just somebody that was important to them. I think Edmonton can still get by Chicago in the first round even without Mike Green, but I think that their path to potentially making a deep run has taken a major hit with Mike Green opting out. And now I'm going to switch over to some NBA news. Russell Westbrook tested positive for COVID-19. He is quarantining and feeling well. He posted it in himself that he had tested positive for the virus. He plans on coming back with his team, and I think he will come back because it's Russell Westbrook. He is somebody that is committed. He is somebody that's a hard worker. He's somebody that comes out with intensity each time he plays. He sometimes pisses his opponents off. But hey, that's the beauty of Russell Westbrook. He is a joy to watch on the basketball court. And you know for sure that he ain't opting out of this season. He's just that kind of person that is a team player, been in a ton of big games. Really was playing very well before the suspension of the season. He got to a slow start with the Rockets, and then he once they made that trade for Robert Covington and got rid of Clint Capella. That's so weird that Westbrook just started playing like his old self, and arguably some of the best ball of his career. So hopefully Russell Westbrook gets well soon, and he's back with the Rockets in no time. And the other NBA thing I want to hit on, Rajon Rondo, fractured finger, out 6 to 8 weeks. That is a big loss for the Lakers. I think that with Avery Bradley out too, this is what makes this a loss. They get worse defensively, I'd say, a little bit. Rondo is obviously somebody that at this point in his career is still a solid player. So, like I said, big game guy. Won a title with the Celtics, been in another finals with the Celtics, another conference finals. So this is somebody that I think it's a big loss for the Lakers, but he's not out for the whole season or for the rest of the year. He will be back in perhaps a month and a half from now. Maybe the Lakers will be in the second round by then. Who knows? So it's a loss, but I think that they can survive it, and then at least he's coming back, and I think he's somebody that will recover quickly. It's not a brutal injury, but this hurts them in their depth because obviously no Bradley. So what are the Lakers going to do? They're, I think, going to start LeBron at point guard, Anthony Davis, and JaVale McGee in the front court. And then your wing guys, I think, will potentially be J.R. Smith and Danny Green. That's what I think they're going to do. Or it could very well be Contavious Caldwell-Pope and Danny Green. So the Rondo injury hurts from a depth standpoint. It hurts their bench because obviously the Bradley not being there hurts. Although they do have J.R. Smith, who's somebody that can get hot and carry a team, as we saw with the Knicks when he won the Sixth Man of the Year, and then in stretches for the Cavaliers when LeBron was in Cleveland as well. So I do think the Lakers will survive this injury. He'll be back and get well soon to Rondo. And now I'm going to go over the soccer results from the weekend and look ahead to today's games. I started with soccer because in terms of the results and stuff, because they have games that I think started already. I'm going to start the Premier League. Friday's results, Saturday. Watford over Newcastle 2-1. Watford is now 8-10-17, and Newcastle 11-10-14 with 43 points. By the way, Watford has 34 points. West Ham over Norwich City 4-0. West Ham 9-7 and 19, 34 points. Norwich City 5-6 and 24, 21 points. Liverpool and Burnley ended in a 1-1 draw. Liverpool 33 and 2, 93 points, and Burnley 14-8 and 13, 50 points. Sheffield United over Chelsea 3-0. Sheffield United, big win for them, 14-12 and 9, 54 points. Chelsea 18-6 and 11 with 60 points. Manchester City over Brighton 5-0. Man City 23-3 and 9, 72 points. Brighton 8-12 and 15 with 36 points. Yesterday, Wolves over Everton 3-0. Wolves 14-13 and 8, 53 points. Everton 12-9, 14, 45 points. Aston Villa over Crystal Palace 2-0. Aston Villa 8-6 and 21, 30 points. Crystal Palace 11-9 and 15, 42 points. Tottenham over Arsenal 2-1. Tottenham 14-10, 11, 52 points. Arsenal 12-14 and 9, 50 points. Bournemouth over Leicester City 4-1. That's a surprising result. Bournemouth 8-7 and 20, 31 points. Leicester City 17-8 and 10, 59 points. They have been passed in the standings by Chelsea. And today, 3 o'clock Eastern, Manchester United, Southampton. Man United 16-10 and 8, 58 points. And Southampton 13-5 and 16, 44 points. Man United's the better team. They are just flat out better. I expect them to win by multiple goals, led by Bruno Fernandes. So give me Manchester United FC to defeat Southampton this afternoon. And now I'm going to do La Liga and go over the weekend's results and look ahead to today's matches. Friday, Granada over Real Sociedad 3-2. Granada 14-8 and 13 with 50 points. And Real Sociedad 15-6 and 14, 51 points. Real Madrid over Alaves 2-0. Real Madrid 24-8 and 3, 80 points. Alaves 9-8 and 18, 35 points. Saturday's results. Osasuna over Celta Vigo 2-1. Osasuna 12-12-12, 48 points. Celta Vigo 7-15 and 14, 36 points. Barcelona over Valladolid 1-0. Barcelona 24-7 and 5, 79 points. Valladolid drops to 8-15 and 13, 39 points. Atletico Madrid over Real Betis 1-0. Atletico Madrid 17-15 and 4, 66 points. Real Betis 10-11 and 15, 41 points. Yesterday, Eibar over Espanyol 2-0. Eibar 10-9 and 17, 39 points. Espanyol 5-9 and 22, 24 points. Athletic Club over Levante 2-1. Athletic Club 13-12 and 11, 51 points. And Levante drops to 12-7 and 17, 43 points. Leganés over Valencia 1-0. Leganés 7-11 and 18, 32 points. Valencia 13-11 and 12, 50 points. Sevilla over Mallorca 2-0. Sevilla goes to 18-12 and 6, 66 points. Mallorca 9-5 and 22, 32 points. Today, 2 matches at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Villarreal and Real Sociedad. Villarreal 17-6 and 12, 57 points. And Real Sociedad 15-6 and 14, 51 points. I'm going to go with the draw here. I think these two teams are evenly matched. Although Villarreal is a little bit better, both offensively and in goal. So I'm going to go with the draw here for this match. And the other game today at 1:30 p.m. Eastern is Alaves hosting Getafe. Alaves 9-8 and 18, 35 points. And Getafe 14-11 and 10, 53 points. I'm going with Getafe. They're the better team, and they should win by multiple goals. And 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, you have Granada and Real Madrid. Granada is 14-8 and 13, 50 points, and Real Madrid 24-8 and 3 and 80 points. Real Madrid's just a better team. I just don't see them losing here, even though they're on the road. So give me Real Madrid in this match to Tuesday at 4 o'clock. And then no La Liga until Thursday, by the way. So just a heads up there. And now I'm going to do Major League Soccer and go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to the games today. So Friday, Seattle and San Jose ended in a 0-0 draw. Saturday night, Red Bulls over Atlanta 1-0. The goal in the game by the Red Bulls was scored by who scored the goal? Velote, right? Yeah. Florian Velote scored the goal in the 4th minute of the game against Atlanta. And that was the game that I picked to be a draw. Columbus over Cincinnati 4-0. Predictable, obviously. Cincinnati's the worst. So you just expected Columbus to go out there and dominate. The first goal of the game in the 27th minute was scored by Lucas Zelarion. The second and third goals of the game were scored by Jose Zardes in the 30th and 49th minutes. And the last goal of the game in the 60th minute was scored by Yunus Mokhtar. So a dominating but predictable dominant win for Columbus. And then yesterday, Minnesota over Sporting KC 2-1. Surprising result, I'd say. The goal by Sporting KC in the 43rd minute was scored by Kiri Shelton to give them the lead. And then a big moment in this game was that Tim Melia, the goalkeeper, was given a red card. That changed the entire game. And then it took extra time, but the first goal of the overtime was an own goal for Minnesota, and that was put in by Kiri Shelton. So Kiri Shelton own goal ties it at 1, and then the go-ahead goal for Minnesota was scored by Kevin Molino. So Minnesota takes advantage of the red card and comes away with a 2-1 victory over Sporting KC. And then Real Salt Lake over Colorado 2-0. The first goal of the game for Real Salt Lake in the 27th minute was scored by Albert Rusnak. And then the second goal of the game, Real Salt Lake, was scored by Damir Karalach. So a very good win for Real Salt Lake to kick off the tournament. And then this morning, DC United and Toronto tied at 2. I thought Toronto would win this game going away, but I was wrong. The 2 goals scored by Toronto were scored by Ayo Akinola. And then they were up 2-0. And then there was a red card in the game given to Junior Moreno of DC United, and you would have thought, oh wow, that's a big deal. Not so fast. Here comes DC United. The goal to get him on the board to make it a 2-1 game was scored by Federico Hugion in the 84th minute to make it 2-1, and then the tying goal to make it 2-2 was scored by a forward, or defender, Frederic Brilliant, to tie it up for DC United, and then that ended in a 2-2 draw. So a good result, surprising result for DC United. 2 games tonight. You have LAFC against the Houston Dynamo. LAFC is the much better team, even though they don't have their best player in Carlos Vela. I think that Bradley Wright Phillips and company will get the job done over Houston. I think it will be competitive, but ultimately LAFC is the better team. And then 10:30 tonight, you have LA Galaxy and Portland. The Galaxy, I think, is a better squad, led by Javier Hernandez and Christian Pavon. So give me the Galaxy in the second game. So I think both LA teams will get it done tonight. And then tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern, you have Chicago against the Seattle Sounders. Obviously, Chicago moves from Group A to Group B because of Dallas and Nashville opting out of the restart. But the Sounders are the much better team, led by Raul Rudiaz and Nicolas Lodeiro. So give me the Sounders tomorrow morning to get their first win of the MLS tournament. Alrighty. Now we'll do KBO results and look ahead to tomorrow, as well as take a look at the updated standings. So, Saturday, Kia over Kaiwum 8-3, SK over Hanwha 5-3. A rare tie, the Dinos and the Twins 6-6. I don't think we've had a tie all season in the KBO, but here we go. Latte over Doosan 5-4 and KT over Samsung 10-7. And all the games from yesterday were postponed to today due to weather. And only 2 games were played today. Kia over Kaiwum 13-3 and Hanwha over SK 4-2. So new matches begin tomorrow, 5:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. out in Korea. SK and Doosan. I'm going to take the Bears here at home. They're just better than the Wyverns. You have Hanwha and KT. I'm going to take KT at the Wiz here. So Hanwha's just the worst. So give me KT. The Twins and the Giants. I'm going to go with the Giants at home. I think the Giants are a better team than people think. I know they were playing poorly after their good start to the season. But they're home, and I think they'll beat the Twins. You have the Dinos and the Heroes. I'm going to take the Heroes. I'm going to go with another upset here. So give me the Heroes over the Dinos at home, and then you have the Tigers and the Lions. And I'm going to keep going with the home teams. So give me the Lions here. So I'm taking all the home teams for the games tomorrow. And a quick look at the standings. The Dinos are 39-17-1. You have the Bears at 34-24, 6 back of the Dinos, 7 back in the loss column. Kaiwum is 35-25, 6 back of the Dinos, 8 back in the loss column. Kaiwum and Doosan are both 6 back, but the difference is that Doosan has games in hand. Kia, the Tigers are 31-25. They are 2 back of the Heroes, although tied in the loss column. And they're 1 back in the loss column of the Bears. The Twins are 30-27-1. They are a game and a half back of the Tigers, 2 back in the loss column. The Lions are 30-29. They're a game back of the Twins, 2 back in the loss column. The Wizards 29-29. They're a half game back of the Lions, although tied in the loss column. Latte 27-29. They are a game back of the Wiz, although tied in the loss column. The Wyverns are 18-41. They are 10.5 back of the Giants, or 12 back in the loss column. 12? Yeah, 12 back in the loss column. I just had to do the math there, sorry. And then the Eagles are 16-43, 2 back of the Wyverns. Now I'm going to go over the golf from the weekend. It was an interesting tournament. You had a somewhat surprising winner of Colin Morikwa with a score of a -19, although an 11 in the playoff. Justin Thomas second with a score of a -19 with the 12 in the playoff. It was a great finish. and good on Morikawa to get it done. Third place, Victor Hovland with a score of -15. Fourth place, Chase Seifert with a score of a -14. Fifth place tie between Gary Woodland and Ian Poulter with a score of a -12. A big tie for seventh between Kevin Streelman, Jason Day, that was his best finish since the restart, Billy Horschel, Sam Ryder, Charlie Hoffman, Patrick Cantlay, and Russell Henley, all with a score of a -11. A tie for 14th, Matt Jones, Xander Schauffele, and Sepp Straka with a score of a -10. A tie for 17th, Taylor Gooch, Rory Sabatini, Ches Ravi, Stuart Kink, and Sam Burns with a score of a -8. In a tie for 22nd, Hideki Matsuyama, Jerry Kelly, MJ Daffy, Ricky Fowler, and Troy Merritt with a score of a -8. The tie for 27th, John Rahm, Matthew Fitzpatrick, Brian Gay, and Roger Sloan with a score of a -7. Among those tied for 31st was Zach Johnson with a score of a -6. The tie for 35th was a score of a -5, including Green McDowell and Richie Wierenski. The tie for 39th was all of a score of a -4. Notables, you had Patrick Reed and Shane Lowry. In the tie for 48th was a score of a -3, including Mackenzie Hughes. A tie for second, J.J. Spawn was in there with a score of a -2. And the tie for 56 with a score of a -1 included Steve Stricker and Jason Duffner. The even in the tie for 58th included Phil Mickelson. Among other notables that finished over, Kim Siwoo Kim finished with a +3 in 64th place, and Sunjay Im in 63rd with the 2 over. A lot of guys missed the cut. Brooks Koepka, very disappointing weekend for Brooks Koepka. Among that, Jordan Spieth missed the cut. Patrick Rogers missed the cut. I think Bubba Watson missed the cut too. Danny Lee missed the cut. Harold Varner III missed the cut. That's another big name in there. Justin Rose missed the cut, so a very bad tournament for Justin Rose. Ryan Palmer missed the cut. J.B. Holmes missed the cut. And my bad, Bubba Watson did not play in this tournament. I thought he did, but he did not. Now I'm going to go over the NASCAR results from the weekend. Very interesting to say the least. We will start Friday night in the Xfinity Series, which was a very interesting finish to say the least. There's a lot of scrums and whatnot. And your winner wound up being Austin Cindric. Chase Briscoe second, Justin Haley third, Ross Chastain fourth, Justin Allgaier fifth, Anthony Alfredo sixth, Noah Gragson seventh, Michael Annett eighth, ninth, Daniel Hemrick 10th, Riley Herbst 11th, Jeremy Clements 12th, Harrison Burton 13th, Brandon Brown 14th, Jesse Little 15th, Josh Williams 16th, Garrett Smithley 17th, Brett Moffitt 18th, Jeremy Earnhardt 19th, Matt Mills 20th, BJ McLeod 21st, Colby Howard 22nd, Joe Graff Jr. 23rd, Mason Massey 24th, Alex Labe 25th, Bailey Curry 26th, Timmy Hill 27th, Tommy Joe Martins 28th, Vinnie Miller 29th, Cody Vanderwall 30th, Brandon Jones 31st, Matt Snyder 32nd, Ronnie Bassett Jr. 33rd, Chad Fincham 34th, Stephen Licht 35th, Ryan Sieg, and 36th, Kyle Weatherman. And I mentioned there being a brawl on Friday night in the Xfinity Series after the finish. And it was a little nuts. You saw some punches and you saw a car come flying in. At the end, it was Harrison Burton and Noah Gragson. And it was very physical. And this happened because with 13 laps to go, And Cindric won. He actually swept it. The two races at Kentucky, good for him. And then Gragson got the rear of Burton's car, and then Burton clipped the outside of the wall because of the contact, and so did Gragson. And then Burton said he was just frustrated, and then it was very interesting, and hopefully there won't be any fights in NASCAR going forward. And now I'm going to go over the results from the Truck Series. And it was a rain-shortened race, and your winner wound up being Sheldon Creed. Ben rode second, Matt Crafton third, fourth was Johnny Sauter. So my pick for this race came in fourth, and my pick for the Xfinity race came in third. Austin Hill fifth, Christian X sixth, Zane Smith seventh, Derek Kraus eighth, Tanner Gray ninth, Todd Gilliland 10th, 11th Brett Moffitt, 12th Grant Effinger, 13th Raphael Lester, 14th Spencer Davis, 15th Stuart Friesen, 16th Tyler Ankrum, 17th Brendan Poole, 18th Parker Kingman, 19th Ty Majeski, 20th Austin Wayne Self, 21st Tate Fogelman, 22nd Chandler Smith, 23rd Corey Roper, 24th Jordan Anderson, 26th Angela Rush, 26th Clay Greenfield, 27th Ryan Truex, 28th Dawson Cram, 29th Natalie Decker, 30th Tyler Hill, 31st Chase Purdy, 32nd Ray Sorelli, 33rd Bryant Barnhill, 34th Corbin Forrester, 35th Tim Vines, 36th Trey Hutchins III, 37th Jennifer Jo Cobb, 38th Spencer Boyd, 39th Cody Rodbrog, and 40th Norm Benning. All right, and to the Cup Series race, which was very, very, very strange. Kevin Harvick was in first place in the final lap, and then he was running out of gas. And who takes advantage? None other than Cole Custer. Rookie Cole Custer gets it done. He was 300-1 in some books, 200-1, I believe, on DraftKings and FanDuel. But a very surprising win for Cole Custer. In second place, you had Martin Truex Jr., who I'm sure many people were expecting to pass Cole Custer and get the win. Third, Matt DiBenedetto. Fourth, Kevin Harvick, so he only slips to fourth. Fifth, Kurt Busch. Sixth, Ryan Blaney. Seventh, Christopher Bell. Eighth, Eric Almirola. Ninth, Brad Keselowski. 10th, Tyler Riddick. 11th, William Byron. 12th, Denny Hamlin. 13th, Austin Dillon. 14th, Clint Boyers. 15th, Joey Logano. 16th, Ty Dillon. 17th, Ryan Newman. 18th, Jimmy Johnson. 19th, Alec Bowman. 20th, Chris Buescher. 21st, Kyle Busch. 22nd, Eric Jones. 23rd, Chase Elliott. So my pick did a poor job in this race. Michael McDowell, 24th. 25th was Matt Kenseth. 26th, Daniel Suarez. 27th, Bubba Wallace. 28th, Corey LaJoie. 29th, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 30th, J.J. Yeley. 31st, Brendan Poole. 32nd, Josh Bilicki. 33rd, Garrett Smithley. 34th, Joey Gase. 35th, Quinn Houff. 36th, John Hunter Nemechek. 37th, Timmy Hill. 38th, Ryan Preece. So a fun race, and obviously Cole Custer, a job well done. And with the baseball season a short 10 days away, we're going to start doing some countdowns and whatnot and lists. And the first list I have for you today, my catchers rankings as we head into the season. So there's 32 catchers on here, and obviously one catcher on this list will not be playing. So once that catcher is come to that point, then the numbers below them go one up. So this is including the catcher that's not playing this season, which is obviously Buster Posey of the Giants. So here's the list. 32, Tyler Heinman of the Giants. He's projected to be their starting catcher with Posey out. I'm sorry, like Tyler Heedman, that's a big drop off from Buster Posey. Like I've never even heard of him. 31st, Tony Wolters of the Rockies. Disappointing year last year. He's somebody that helped them big time in 2000. I want to say 18 was the year that they won the wild card game in Wrigley Field. Wolters hit that big home run, but he's just somebody that I don't think is very good. 30th, Jacob Stallings of the Pirates. He had a good run, but it was a small sample size, and he's on one of the worst teams in the league. 29, Austin Romine Tigers. He's had some good spurts with the Yankees, as he was the fill-in starter for Gary Sanchez, but how does that translate into 162, or I should say 60 games of a season? But he'll probably get some days off here and there. But if I'm not mistaken, I think they signed him to a 2-year deal. So maybe if next season is 162 games, then he'll get a whole season. But I'm just not convinced that him in a starting role will provide some success. 28th, Pedro Severino, Orioles. He's somebody that showed flashes. He's bounced around a little bit, but I won't be shocked if he's supplanted by Adley Rutschman maybe this season. Who knows? 27, Danny Jansen of the Blue Jays. And oh, by the way, I won't be shocked if Austin Romine is supplanted by Jake Rogers. So 27 is Danny Jansen of the Blue Jays. He showed some promise last year. I think that he's somebody that can improve on that up-and-coming young core team. I would include him in that core. I think he's their catcher of the future, unless if he doesn't really pan out. 26, Jason Castro of the Angels. Jason Castro is not somebody I am a fan of at all. He's not a good defensive catcher. Really, he isn't as good as he used to be. I just think that he's in for a regression, and he's nearing the end. 25, Tom Murphy of the Mariners. Had some good moments last year, but I'm not convinced that he's somebody that is a building block going further. 24, Sean Murphy, Oakland Athletics. This is somebody that I think is a part of the Oakland Athletics future. Small sample size last year, maybe like 30 games. But I think that he has a lot of promise, and he was obviously somebody that was highly regarded, and he was traded from the Nationals to the A's in that Sean Doolittle deal. 23, Travis d'Arnaud of the Braves. I think that he's in for regression. He had the big year with the Rays last year, but I think he's in for a little bit of regression. 22, Mike Zunino of the Rays. Zunino, on the other hand, I think could bounce back. He had a bad year last year. He's a good power-hitting catcher. So I won't be shocked if he has a bounce-back season. 21, Yan Gomes, Nationals. Yan Gomes has dipped a little bit, and obviously the Nats have a platoon. That's why both catchers for the Nats are ranked on this list, because they're known commodities in baseball. And they have some success with that platoon. And obviously it showed last year because they won the World Series. 20, Omar Narvaez of the Varas of the Brewers. Career year last year. I think he takes a step back. He's not a good defensive catcher, so I'm not sold that he's going to repeat or come close to what he did if in the 60-game sample size for the season and what it could have translated into 162. 19, Jorge Alfaro of the Marlins. He's somebody I think is on the rise. He had some good moments last year at the Marlins. And obviously he was highly touted with the Phillies. And then the Phillies traded him away in the JT Realmuto deal. Number 18, Francisco Mejia of the Padres. I think he's an up-and-coming player too. I'm not convinced he's a good defensive catcher, but he has the bat to stick around. 17, Tucker Barnhart, Reds. He's not a good offensive catcher, but his defense is very good, and that's what makes him this high in the rankings. Although his numbers offensively have been a little bit better the last 2 years than they've been in the past years, but he's just a defense-first catcher. 16, Christian Vasquez, Red Sox. He's another person that I think is like more of a defense guy. He had a career offensively last year, but I think he takes a step back. 15, Carson Kelly, Diamondbacks. This kid's on the come. The Diamondbacks, though, have a little bit of an issue going forward. They have Dalton Varsho waiting in the wings, too, and they have Carson Kelly. So I'm interested to see what they do at catcher long term. 14, Martin Maldonado, Astros. Maldonado's a solid defensive catcher. He had a good offensive year last year as well. And he's somebody that's bounced around a little bit, played in some big games and whatnot. 13, Robinson Chirinos, Rangers. Chirinos, the last couple years has actually been pretty solid. I think that he'll do a good job with the Rangers and that pitching staff. He's a good defensive catcher. 12, Kurt Suzuki, Nationals. Kurt Suzuki has improved as a hitter over the past couple years, and I think he had his best year yet last year at the Nats, helping them win the World Series. Solid defensive catcher as well. 11, Will Smith, Dodgers. This kid, I think, is the catcher of the future, although they do have that other catcher in their system as well. And it's going to be interesting to see if they move him or they move the other catcher or they just keep them both, which you never know. Maybe they move one of them to another position. There's the DH now in the National League, so that obviously benefits the Dodgers. 10, Wilson Ramos, Mets. Wilson Ramos, I think, has become underrated. He was okay last year for the Mets. I think he'll be good again this year. 9, Roberto Perez, Indians. Perez had a career year last year, and he's a good defender. I'm not convinced he's that good offensively, but his defense is very solid, so he's earned a top 10 spot. 8, Salvador Perez, Royals. Salvador Perez missed last year, and now he's supposed to be back this year. I think that if he looks like the Salvador Perez of old, I think he could very well be trade bait for the Royals and could potentially land on a contender who has a hole at catcher. Let's say Mike Zunino doesn't bounce back for Tampa Bay. I won't be shocked if Tampa Bay puts together a nice package from their loaded farm system and they land Salvador Perez. Or Travis d'Arnaud doesn't repeat last year and he's terrible. I could see the Braves making a move for Salvador Perez. So the Royals have some options with Salvador Perez, and I think that he's being a little underestimated coming into the season because of how bad the Royals are. 7, Mitch Garver, Twins. Mitch Garver had a career year last year. I think he regresses a little bit. Not a good defensive catcher either, but his offensive numbers were off the charts last year. But I think he takes a dip a little bit. And if he did have the same year last year as he did the past couple years, he's in the top 5 easily. But I'm just not convinced that he's not as good as he showed last year. 6, Buster Posey, Giants. So if you take Posey off the list, Garver 6, Perez 7th, Perez 8, Ramos 9th, Will Smith would be 10. And then everybody else bumps up a number as well. I put Buster Posey at 6 if he was playing this season. So I have an asterisk by his name. Posey did not have a good offensive year last year, but he's still a rock defensively behind the plate. I think that his days as a catcher, though, are a little numbered because Joey Bart is somebody that's waiting in the wings. Do they move him or Posey to first base and try to get rid of Brandon Belt? I think that is absolutely in play, and I think Brandon Belt is another player that I think could be trade bait this season. Like if, let's say, I'm trying to think of a good example of a team that would need help at first base. We'll save that for tomorrow for Brandon Belt because this is a catcher's list, not a first baseman's list. So, yeah, Buster Posey would have been 6th had he played this season, and then Tyler Heineman wouldn't have been on the list, actually. So, even if I included Heineman and kept Posey with an asterisk, let's say I get rid of Heineman and Posey plays, then everybody else has the same number, but Buster Posey's sitting here with an asterisk right now. So, if you take him off the list, Hyman's 31, Walters is 30, Stallings 29, etc., as we talked about a couple minutes ago. 5, Yadier Molina, Cardinals. Yadier Molina can still hit. He can still throw guys out. His power numbers were down a little bit last year as this year before they were really good. Molina is nearing the end of his career too, but he's still Yadier Molina. He's still good. And I think that he's somebody else that is being a little underestimated in terms of catchers. He's still producing at a good level. 4, Wilson Contreras, Cubs. Wilson Contreras, I think, is super underrated. He had a great year last year. He did not have a good year the year before, which I think there crept in some doubt. His defense has been questioned by people. I know Joe Madden played him around last year. I wonder how David Ross is going to handle that this year with the flexibility of the Cubs. Will he do what Joe Madden did, or will he come up with his own little thing? Although Ross was obviously on Madden's team in 2016, which won the World Series. So that's another conversation for another day about David Ross. But yeah, Wilson Contreras I'm very high on. I think that he is the second best catcher in the National League, and he's somebody that could hit for both average and power. And he's had health issues in the past too, which makes people have some doubts as well. And I expect a big year from Contreras this year. 3rd, Yasmani Grandal, White Sox. This was one of the bigger acquisitions of the offseason. He will absolutely make the White Sox offense and pitching staff better. He's a good catcher in terms of framework behind the plate, and he's good at calling games. There's been some issues with pass balls and wild pitches for Grandal, but I think that his game calling and his framework is solid, and he'll make the White Sox better. And I think that's a very big loss for, I believe he was last on the Brewers, if I'm not mistaken. What was the last team he was on? Yasmani Grandal came over from the Brewers. Yes, that's what I thought. Number 2, Gary Sanchez, Yankees. The top 2 is debatable, but I settled on Sanchez for number 2. What's cost him the number 1 spot is his issue with pass balls, but the reason why he's number 2 is because he has the best bat among any catcher in the league. He's the best offensive catcher in the league, although his batting average was down last year, but his OPS was very good, as well as his slugging numbers. I think that a short season can benefit Sanchez if he's healthy and he gets hot. Then absolutely I think this season will benefit Gary Sanchez. And he's also a pretty good game caller behind the plate. And his framing's actually not as bad as people say it is. So I think that Garrett Cole will help Sanchez a lot as well. So I expect a huge year from Gary Sanchez of the Yankees. And number 1, JT Realmuto, Phillies. In a contract year, he's somebody that is a good hitting catcher. He hits for power as well. I think that he'll have a big year, improved pitching staff. His defense is better than giving credit for, I think. Although some of his defensive numbers aren't spectacular. But he's a better defensive catcher than Gary Sanchez, and that's why JT Realmuto is ahead of him on the rankings, as well as Yasmani Grandal. He's a better defensive catcher than Yasmani Grandal, too. Realmuto is a good framer. He's a good game caller as well. And obviously, he's all around the best catcher in baseball, and that's why he's earned my number 1 spot on this list. And now I'm going to do my 2012 top 10 songs list. These lists aren't for much longer because sports are coming back, and these lists were just for fun for COVID reasons and to keep the show rolling. But this was an interesting list to put together as there were some good hits in that year. And before we get to the top 10, we'll have some honorable mentions. There's 10 of them, amazingly enough. Stronger by Kelly Clarkson, I Won't Give Up by Jason Mraz, Drunk on You, Luke Bryant, Starships, Nicki Minaj, Some Nights by Fun, Drive by Train, Let's Go by Calvin Harris featuring Neo, Whistle by Flo Rida, Payphone by Maroon 5 featuring Wiz Khalifa, and Wide Awake by Katy Perry. Now, without further ado, my top 10 songs of 2012. Number 10, Blow Me, One Last Kiss by Pink. Came out in July of 2012. Off the album The Truth About Love. 4-minute song, very electro-pop. Good song. 9th, Cruise, Florida Georgia Line. Came out in August of 2012 as the single from the album Here's to Good Times. And the song on the album is 3.5 minutes, and so is the remix featuring Nelly, and in the remix radio edit is just over 3 minutes long. 8th place, Pound the Alarm, Nicki Minaj, off the album Pink Friday, Roman Reloaded. Came out in June of 2012 as the single, 3.5 minutes long, very poppy and dancey and hip-hoppy. 7th, Try, Pink. Fantastic song by one of the best singers of this century. Came out as the single in September in 2012 from the album The Truth About Love. 4 minutes long, very poppy rock, and very, very intense kind of song as well. 6th, Take Care, Drake featuring Rihanna. Great song, and the song came out in February of 2012 off the album Take Care. That's obviously Drake's album, 4.5 minutes long. 5th place, Good Time, Owl City and Carly Rae Jepsen. I think this is a forgotten Carly Rae Jepsen song because she's obviously known for Call Me Maybe. This song came off of 2 albums, the Midsummer Station from Owl City and Kiss from Carly Rae Jepsen. The single came out in June of 2012, 3.5 minutes long. 4th place, I Love It, Icona Pop, off the album Icona Pop, and this is Icona Pop, so it's on 2 albums. Came out as the single May in 2012, 2.5 minutes long. 3rd, Don't Wake Me Up, Chris Brown. An absolute sensational song from his album Fortune. Came out May of 2012. A little over 3.5 minutes long. A very disco dancey kind of song. And same with I Love It, Good Time. And Take Care is more of like a dark but disco song. And number 2, International Love, Pitbull. Great song by one of the best rappers of the decade. Just period. In general. This is a great song. And off a great album. And it is it actually came out in the end of 2011, so this probably should have been in the 2011 countdown, but oh well. A little over 3.5 minutes long, very disco dancey. And number 1, Treasure, Bruno Mars. Awesome song. And it came out in 2012, technically. Off the album Unorthodox Jukebox. The single came out in 2013, but it was on the album, so these two songs probably shouldn't have been in the countdown. So, the real countdown, Don't Wake Me Up 1, I Love It 2, Good Time 3, Take Care 4, Try 5, Pound the Alarm 6, Cruise 7, Blow Me One Last Kiss 8. Then Stronger by Kelly Clarkson would have been 9, and I Won't Give Up by Jason Mraz would have been 10. So I kind of screwed that one up. I apologize. Oh well. So that's it for the podcast today. I'll be back tomorrow with KBO results from tomorrow. I'll be doing my rankings of first baseman for the 2020 MLB season. I'll also be going over soccer results as well, and I'll do my 2012 top 10 movies. I hope you guys have a great day, everyone.